Sup weebs and Croc enthusiasts. Today we're going to be making Croc Jibbitz charm things, but for cheap because poverty. The supplies you're going to need are first this shrink plastic. You can find this on Amazon for $12.24. This Mod Podge also on Amazon for $8.52. I had this random white paint. You can also use black. I got it from Joann's like 6 years ago or something for like $1. This workable fixative sealing spray thing for $6.92 on Amazon as well. These Jibbitz charms that you actually need to put them on your shoes, $7.99 on Amazon. I had Gorilla Glue in my house, but you can use E6000 or something. It doesn't really matter, I guess. It was $4.89 at Target. I checked yesterday. And I know this seems like a lot of money, but it's just literally for the first time because the shrink plastic comes with 6 sheets and about 8 characters fit if your printer works correctly, because mine doesn't work correctly. No, we'll get into that later. And then the Jibbitz, it's 250 of them, so essentially you can make 250 Jibbitz for $7.99, which is a steal compared to $4.99 per charm on the Croc's website, and they don't even got anime ones. And then I went on Amazon and they didn't have any other ones. It was just like Mickey Mouse and shit, and I don't like that. Anyway, so what you're gonna do is get your whatever design that you want. I will link obviously all of the artists that made these down below, because I'm not an artist, so I didn't, make them. So they're gonna be linked down below if you want to use their art and go follow them and thank them and stuff like that. I'm using the Magic Eraser app for this. A lot of people make the mistake of paying for like the premium apps, but this one I found is free. For some reason, when you open the app, it doesn't seem like it's free, but there's like in tiny letters, there's in like the corner or something, I can't remember, there's like continue free. So, click that. It's free to get your transparent backgrounds. You're going to need that, and you don't need to get the premium to get for their special tools or whatever. As you can see, you just have to zoom in super hard and like erase stuff pixel by pixel, and it comes out perfectly fine. I think this app works really well. It's also like mobile friendly. I'm using the iPad version because I have the Apple Pencil. It's bigger. I don't wear my glasses very often now during quarantine. Usually I never do during when I'm at home, but also during quarantine because of masks. Anyway, then you're gonna go on Canvas. I'm using Canvas just because it's gonna be easier to just show you exactly the stuff that I did, but you can use whatever software you want if you don't want to use Canvas. But also Canvas is free as well, and poverty. So anyway, you're gonna want to get your designs after you've made them all transparent backgrounds, or if you've traced over them. I did do that for a couple of these because they were super pixelated. I got them directly from the anime, like a screenshot, so I had to, do the rest myself. You're gonna want to crop as close to the image as you can, just because for some reason it doesn't do that, as you can see with the little bird and the cat. And that's just going to make it easier to measure stuff and to place things. If your printer works normally, you can just space them out however you want, but my printer doesn't work normally, or I guess it's just cheap. So I had to kind of finagle it and I had to do it like this so that I would actually print, because the shrink plastic is much too heavy for my printer. So then you're going to want to show rulers, show margins, show guides, and show printer bleed. This is just so that you make sure that you center your image properly and you don't have any bleeding or whatever with your printer. It's just an extra step. Here, as you can see, I put it 75% transparency, and I upped the contrast to 50, and I upped the saturation to 50. I also measured my images out to 2 inches at least on one side, so that I get a 1-inch pin at the end, because the shrink plastic does shrink by 50%. And then you just save it and then print. So as you can see, it's not working and I have to finagle it. And by doing that, what I mean is I actually let the printer run a little bit and then actually open it, pull the printer paper, or I guess the shrink plastic paper, through the printer and like out the other end so that it's like already caught in between the little printer turny thingies. So this is the only way I could get it to work and to print properly. If you have a printer that works with shrink plastic, then I guess good for you. But if you don't, this is the way I do it, but I cannot guarantee it's gonna work for your printer. It worked for mine. I cannot guarantee, so don't come at me. Anyway, this is how it comes out. It comes out pretty good for, you know, finagling it. Next, what you're gonna wanna do is cut it. I had to use scissors because I keep forgetting to buy an X-Acto knife. And also that yeeted out of existence. I don't have a toaster oven, so I was using my air fryer, obviously minus the oil. Air fryer is just a convection oven, so it's basically the same thing. And it takes longer in a regular oven. So in a toaster oven or air fryer, it's gonna take like 2 minutes for these to come out correctly. But in a regular oven, it takes like 10 minutes, and I prefer to do them one by one because as you can see, sometimes they do wrinkle and you need to kind of finagle it to make sure it comes out properly. So that's what I recommend. If you don't have that, a regular oven works fine. It's just gonna take forever. You can do them more than one at a time. You just need kind of a equal size pan so that once it's out of the oven, you can sort of smush them and make sure that they stay flat. If you don't do this step, I cannot guarantee that they're not gonna come out wrinkly. Also, there's spoons in my air fryer because there's a fan in the air fryer. That's why it's a convection oven. And so with the foil in there, it was kind of flopping everywhere, and I didn't want to risk the plastic sticking to the glass. So as you can see, that one was actually like curled. And so that's what I was doing every time that I took out the shrink plastic, just to make sure it came out flat. And no, this doesn't focus because my camera is always on autofocus and I never could figure it out. Sorry about that. But alas, this is what the finished product is. They're a little bit dull right now, but that's why we spray them with the sealant. I did 2 coats of the sealant to make sure that it did adhere properly, because I did see reviews on Amazon that this Mod Podge, this specific version of the Mod Podge, yellowed over time or it would bleed, and I didn't want that to happen. So in order to do that, I wanted to make sure to seal it correctly. Once it was dry, on the back, I painted it with the paint. Just, you can use black, you can use white. I wanted black just because the ball and the shoes and some of the features of the other characters were white. And so I wanted to accentuate that more so that the white was more bright rather than dull. If I used black, it would dull out or turn gray. I'm not sure how, you know, color theory or that, because I'm not an artist. But that's what I did. You can obviously use whatever color that you want. It's up to you. It's your craft. Have fun with it. It's still sunny in Los Angeles, so I just put it on my windowsill and it dried pretty quickly. Then I got my Mod Podge, my dimensional magic here, and you're gonna want to put a lot more than you think that you need to put. I don't think I put enough, so on mine, on the edges, they're a little bit flatter, so it kind of looks less perfect than I would like. So do put a lot more than you think that you need, and try your best to get the Mod Podge as close to the edges as possible without going over, because if it does go over, it's going to stick to whatever it is that you're putting them on. And then as you can see, sometimes there's bubbles. Don't shake the bottle because there's going to be more bubbles and you don't want bubbles. And just drag them out to the edges, and sometimes the bubbles go away. Not always. The really small ones are hard. So set those out to dry. And then now you just got to stick the charms onto the shrink plastic. And Gorilla Glue needs water to seal. So you're going to want to put a little bit of water on whatever you want to stick it to. So I put a little bit of water on the back. Not a lot, of course, because then it won't stick. Then you're going to put a small dot, a lot smaller than you think that you need. I put way too much glue, and so now it's kind of hard to put the charms on and off because there's so much glue coming out of the edges, because this does double in size I had one of the charms fall off because of the glue situation, so I scraped off the glue and put it back on with less glue than I thought that I needed, and it works perfectly now, and it doesn't have a raised edge. See, like, that was good, and then I put more, and that was too much. So what you don't want is the glue to come out from under it, because as I said, it's gonna double in size, and then when it dries, that glue sticks out. See, that's way too much glue. The glue sticks out and prevents your charm from sticking flat to your croc. And after that, I just put, because now they're all of even size, just put something on top to weigh it down, because that's what the Gorilla Glue says. I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I did it anyway. I put some pots on top of that plate thing that I had laying around. And then these are the final charms, and I'm so, so, so proud of them. I hope that you guys liked it and liked the video, and I really do appreciate a like, a comment, and a subscription. Don't forget, all the art is going to be linked down below, any products that I use, and also there's a couple people that I took inspiration from that make charms or pins or whatever with the plastic. So I used a little bit of what they do as inspiration, and I will link down below, of course, all of the apps and everything. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.